या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा। शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसारपरमाम् आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणापुस्तकधारिणीम्।
Of how analytics can shape a future where economic progress and sustainability can go hand in hand. The conference will cover 8 major themes pivotal to sustainability and analytics. These themes include technology for sustainability, CSR and stakeholder engagement, sustainable supply chains, regulatory analytics for green finance, sustainable supply chains, sustainable production and consumption, smart cities and urban sustainability, ESG integration and reporting, and policy innovation through data. These themes will be explored through impactful research presentations and thought-provoking discussions. This conference has been structured into 3 segments, beginning with the inaugural session, where we will have the privilege of hearing from our distinguished international speakers and esteemed senior academicians. In the second segment of the conference, there will be 27 research paper presentations which are aligned with the themes of the conference, where both researchers as well as the management students of AIMT will be presenting these papers. These papers have been written by the students in collaboration with the faculty members under their esteemed guidance. The presentations will be held across all the 3 parallel tracks, where one will be in the hybrid mode and the other 2 will be in the physical mode for fostering more discussions. Finally, in the valedictory session, we will have the honor of hearing from distinguished speakers from both academia as well as industry. They will reflect on the key insights gained throughout the conference, highlighting the takeaways, the emerging trends, and the way forward in integrating analytics into sustainable practices. As we commence this conference, I once again extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the dignitaries for accepting our invitation and enriching this dialogue with their valuable insight. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for the insightful introduction. Guest of honor, Mr. Saurabh Mohan Saxena, has recently joined us. I request our chairman, sir, to please welcome our guest of honor. Thank you, sir. It is truly an honor for me to introduce our esteemed director, Major General Dr. Rajendra Bala, who will deliver the welcome address for the 8th International Conference. Sir was commissioned in the Ordnance Corps of the Indian Army in 1987 and is a highly seasoned Army veteran with nearly 4 decades of diverse and rich experience. Throughout his career, he has held pivotal roles in the Indian Army, logistics and supply chain management system, playing a crucial part in equipping the entire army. Sir has commanded and administered the complete ammunition and explosive in the challenging Siachen Glacier. He also represented the Indian Army as a logistic advisor to the Republic of Seychelles. Additionally, Sir has been deputed to the Defense Research and Development Organization (DRDO), where he contributed to ammunition safety policy formulation and held an interministerial position with the Ministry of Home Affairs to equip paramilitary forces. His esteemed career also includes serving as a chief instructor and dean at the Military College of Material Management, the Premium Logistic Institute of Indian Army. Recently, he has joined us from the corporate headquarters of the Symbiosis Group of Universities, bringing his valuable expertise to our institution. Please join me in welcoming our respected director, sir. Over to you, sir.
Respected Chairman, Major General Sumit Mehta, Vishish Seva Medal, Chief of Staff, Headquarter Delhi Area, our Chief Guest, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Sharda University, Professor Dr. Parmanand, Guest of Honor, Mr. Saurabh Mohan from AHOTS, Mr. Inaugural, Business Head FNP Singapore, Mr. Vadim Kotelnikov in Nome Pix, Russia, our afternoon session guests who presently are not here, but we extend our welcome to them as well. Mr. J.S. Mandla from Ketan and Company, Dr. Gyanesh Sinha from Bennett University, esteemed dignitaries, distinguished speakers, academia, faculty of AIMT, participants, and my dear students. A very good morning to you. I am similarly privileged and deeply honored to be part of this important dialogue on driving sustainability with analytics in contemporary processes of business and industry. I welcome all the distinguished guests, speakers, and participants who have joined us either remotely or physically. On behalf of Army Institute of Management and Technology, please accept our most sincere thank you for being with us for this event. Sustainability has its roots in our ancient culture. In India, we have always believed in the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That is, entire world is interconnected and all living beings are part of a single universal family. In this wake, the growth, the economic growth or the development taking place needs an integrated approach of sustainable development with consideration of environmental concerns. The entire world is in a race of economic expansion with the sole purpose of creating a prosperous and happy society. However, this growth has already costed us dearly of our divine providence of natural resources, which are finite and fast depleting. To me, sustainability is to have a very fine balance between economic growth while preserving the resources for our future development. A sustainable economy is based on economic decisions made by the society, by us, which has got two very important constituents, consumer and businessmen. And only this can ensure a happy living opportunity for us and our children. Now, with the advancement of technology, specifically in digital arena, like AI, blockchain, Internet of Things, associated with sound analytic process, we have a great hope of reversing the degradation process of our natural resources. Circular economy, sustainable supply chain management, green finance are just a few of many of such activities, such things happening, a few examples which can work as catalyst towards sustainable development, helping various stakeholders to optimize resources allocation, enhance decision making, and accelerate progress towards achieving those 17 Sustainable Development Goals by UN, which by the way has been declared in 2015, and now it is almost 10 years. The first goal of eradication of poverty also is not fully achieved even as of date. Our event features an impressive lineup of speakers and experts who will share insight into the latest trends, challenges, and opportunities in sustainability in various sectors. This conference will not only help in learning the benefits of technology and how to minimize the harmful effects, but we will be talking about what economic and social impacts it creates on the environment as well as on the resources. I am very optimistic that the research papers and ideas discussed here will help to develop and utilize innovative tools and intelligence systems to address the need of sustainable infrastructure. The deliberation by the expert at this conference will serve as a roadmap in creating awareness in our students about sustainable development and help them to reorient their understanding of the subject. Once again, I thank you very much for giving us your valuable time to participate in this conference today. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your words.
For the inaugural address, I would like to introduce our chairman, Major General Sumit Mehta, Vishesh Seva Medal, Chief of Staff, Delhi Area, a leader renowned for his innovation and strategic vision. Commissioned into the 44th Armored Regiment in June 1992, Sir has commanded a Sable Squadron in development training, an Armored Regiment in deserts, and an Armored Brigade in the Western Theatre. He has served in key operations including Operation Rakshak, Operation Meghdut, and Operation Parakram. His staff appointments span a mountain brigade on the northern borders of Arunachal Pradesh, an independent armored brigade in deserts, and corps headquarters in eastern Ladakh. Additionally, he has held significant roles as ADC to the Chief of Army Staff, Assistant Military Secretary, Battalion Commander at the Indian Military Academy, and Director at the Mechanized Forces Directorate. Sir has also represented India in the United Nations on the Golan Heights in Syria and Israel. An alumnus of the National Defence Academy, Kharakwarsla, Sir is a graduate of the Technical Staff Officers Course, the Higher Air Command Course, and the National Defence College in Nairobi, Kenya. Holding Master of Arts degree in International Relations and Peace Studies. Kindly join me in extending a warm welcome to Major General Sumit Mehta, VSM, to deliver the inaugural address. So please.
Mr. Louis Low, Business Head, Fernson Petal, Singapore. Mr. Vadim, Founder and Global Coordinator, Inaugural, both of them joining us online. Mr. Saurabh Mohan Saxena, Founder Director, Ehod Technologies. Professor Dr. Anupam Narula, Professor and Deputy Director, Alumni Relations, Amity University. Professor Dr. Parmanand, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Sharda University. General Dr. Rajendra Bana, Director, AIMT. Esteemed dignitaries, distinguished speakers, academia, faculty of AIMT, participants, and my dear students of Army Institute of Management and Technology. Greetings on a bright morning. Bright on two senses. The physical sense as it is the sun shining outside, as also for the chance of illumination that it provides to our minds as the activities of the day proceed. We were informed about the topic of the day. So as I go into my inaugural address, allow me to first analyze this topic which has been chosen very aptly. So I see sustainability and analytics as the two mainstays of the topic, but I also see driving and shaping as the operational part of it. And then I see business, policy, and society, which comes thereafter. You know, when I see it from the management college point of view, business as the first is a natural. It wants good policies to bloom, flourish, and it affects the society. But when I see it from the global perspective, I see society as the first, policy thereafter, and businesses which configure themselves into that. That be so. When we look at sustainability, we understand what sustenance, sustain means: to maintain, to continue without depleting, without destroying. We also know that it needs to meet the needs of the present without compromising on the needs of the future generations. But my favorite definition of sustainability, which I read some time back, says that you are living on a borrowed planet. This planet belongs to the people who will come after you, which means that it is somebody else's dharohar. It's not your property. You're on rent. Second, that we are using it for the time that we are here. So istemal kijiye and then give it back in a shape that it is similar, if not better, than what you got it. While I say this, I am acutely cognizant of the social milieu in which we live, and that is a consumption-driven capitalist market economy. And as business students, you are very well aware of what all these things imply. Some estimates say we are consuming 1.8 times what the Earth can generate annually, which means we are depleting. Also, it has led us to a state where our backs are against the wall, and the climate change has got us by the neck. So 1.5 degrees above the pre-industrial temperature, industrial age temperature, that is what climate change is trying to, our actions are wanting to bring it below. But that didn't happen. 2024, 11 months out of 12, we were at 1.5 times above the late 19th century temperatures. So it has arrived. And what has been the major reason? Fossil fuel, energy requirement, primarily factories and transportation, and attendant infrastructure. So why this conference? Bring minds together, academia, business, also present a platform to the students. It gives an opportunity to all of you to put your minds to it. All of us fleetingly know about it, but when you're told, you will sit through a process through the entire day, and you will see it from various angles, facets of the topic. You will absorb, you will assimilate. The MBA and the senior BBA students who are here, we have some lot who are already into analytics, so you understand it better, how to put it across, how to co-opt it into the sustainability part as and when you will require to. The general management, I'm told about 40% of you are into operations and analytics. So maybe today you will wear the thinking cap and understand the importance of this subject, the analytics part, because this is a crucial skill. It will help you leverage the data and analytics for informed business decision making. As also combining this proficiency with managerial and leadership roles that you will don in time. The paper presentations which are going to happen in the second half of the day, I have been informed that there are 24 papers which have been submitted. So it gives a chance for ideation, for addition to the knowledge base, which is a great takeaway. Key themes were outlined. I'm happy to note that it has gone through a diverse bouquet of topics, from data-driven solutions to social impact analytics, supply chain, green finance, production and consumption, sustainable development models, policy innovation, also the ESG, the environmental, social, and governance criteria. While I endeavor to set the tone to roll the event into motion, we would eagerly await the keynote addresses, the address by the guest of honor, the thematic address, and the address of the chief guest. A little glimpse on certain stories, success stories. I must admit that coming here for an inaugural address also gave me an opportunity to put in a couple of hours and read about it and get to know myself better about the latest things that are happening on the topic of the day. So UPS, a transportation services company in the US, it co-opted Orion Route Optimizer. Route Optimizer removed the bends and curves and gave him a straighter route to deliver what it was to deliver in the US. For your information, approximately 30% of US emissions are by the transport services. So what did Orion do for UPS? It saved fuel emissions, leading to about 10 million gallons per year, which is approximately 20,000 cars being removed from the streets per year. So a small innovation, right? but leading to this. But this all could come because they could analyze, see it, co-opt innovative minds, and it came by. The General Electric, the digital wind farm, what have they done? They have co-opted uh, they have co-opted IoT digital twins of the rotor blades of the windmills, whereby they can adjust the direction of the wind turbine and also uh, predict approximate time when you require repairs, etc. The end state 10% increase in green energy, which is an advantage. The H&M, all of us are aware of H&M stores. So they went in for let's choose the gap, let's close the gap concept, wherein they called for used articles. So now they were looking at getting into the circular economy. So in their last report, they say that approximately 85% of their raw materials are either recycled or from sustainably sourced agencies. And then I came about this company called Signify. It is into luminaire. Luminaire means lighting up. So what do? They came up with this concept of product service system. They don't sell it to you, they lease it to you. So whatever lighting system you want in your house, he will be the owner, he will lease it to you. Now, since he continues to be the owner of that system, he does not cut corners in quality. He wants it to be leased for the longest time, thereby saving costs. There's also they've gone on to zero waste at the end of it. Now, that was a snapshot on some of the things which people are doing. When I look at the stakeholders for sustainability, it is the government, corporates, the United Nations, because as apex body of the world, they have taken it on themselves to do things, and the civil society. But the United Nations Framework Convention on climate change was formed in 1994, and it is close to 30 years now, which is more than half of my lifetime, which is more than most of yours lifetimes, and we have not yet hit where we wanted to. So we are going slow. When we look at what kind of technology interventions, what kind of policy interventions can there be? So, a large number of them are aimed towards energy. We had a bike standing out from Ahon, which we saw. You must see it before it is moved out. And the bike is owned by one of our alumni. He's working with Awards. As to how it reduces emission, improves efficiency, does cost cutting for you. So, energy emissions. So, we require battery energy storage systems, bioenergy, biofuel, green economies, cloud market is going to be about 20 billion by the end of this year. But to have them, what does the government or the central bodies need to do? Tax incentive, subsidies, support for innovation, expand the supply chains, carbon credits, energy efficient public and private clouds. These will support the minds which are getting into supporting sustainability and solutions for it. Before I conclude, if I say sustainable development as the goal, then it is for the society and it is for us. When I say analytics, as a tool to be utilized by us. So basically, it is us. And us also devolves on me and I. So my action, behavior, habit, we are all aware how the sequence goes and activities happen. The Indian knowledge system is replete with sustainable actions, behaviors, habits. And they are based on scientific, largely preventive, just adequate rather than excess, to be one with nature, wellness for all in the ecosystem, flora, fauna, humans. So if we draw practices from the Indian knowledge system, and together with analytics powered by cutting edge technology, empower us to create a blueprint for a more resilient and prosperous world. And what is the overall aim? It remains what the UN and the bodies have said for the SDG: to end poverty, to protect our planet, and to leave no one behind. With that, I wish you all an enriching day. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with the words and setting the tone for the conference.
Now for the keynote address, I'm honored to introduce our esteemed guest, Mr. Louis Loh, Country Business Head, FMP Singapore. Our guest today is a true pioneer in the world of e-commerce. With over 10 years of experience, he has been driving force behind digital transformation and business growth across Southeast Asia. He played a key role in shaping the region's online marketplace alongside Alibaba, helping build the thriving e-commerce ecosystem we see today. Currently, he leads FNP Singapore, one of the top online gifting platforms, where he is not just scaling the business, but also making a real impact, championing sustainability by reducing waste and improving efficiency. His vision isn't just about growth, it's about creating a smarter, greener, and more customer focused future. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Louis Loh, who will be joining us virtually for the delivery of the keynote address. Over to you, sir.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Can you guys hear me? All good? Okay. I can't really see you guys, so I assume you guys can hear me. So I'm Louis Loh from Singapore, and I'm currently the Singapore business head in FMP, which is a global leader in the gifting industry. So I think we are a brand that exists to transform special moments into cherished memories. So whether it's sending a bouquet of flowers, a cake, or a personalized gift, across borders to celebrate someone special. So I'm actually very excited today to be here virtually, at the Army Institute of Management and Technology to share how we can use analytics to promote sustainable production and consumption. So a challenge that's both very urgent to me and deeply personal, after over a decade of, my career in e-commerce. So before I joined FMP, I spent over a decade immersed in the e-commerce world. I was part of the founding team at Lazada, and later working very closely with Alibaba during their expansion into Southeast Asia. So I think those early days were pretty intense. We were building an entire ecosystem from scratch. There were no logistic network. I realized my slide. Can you guys see my slide? I assume you can. Okay. So there was no actually logistic network. There's no payment system. There's no playbook in Southeast Asia. And everybody speaks a different language. So we do have a vision back then to bring retail online and make it accessible to everyone. But I think while we are trying to do this, what we didn't realize back then was a sheer scale of waste, that actually come along with the convenience that we were building. So think about it, right? A single parcel involves layer of packaging. a dedicated vehicle trip from a warehouse, to a distribution hub, and then to a customer home, right? So sometimes even an oversized bag for a tiny product. I'm not sure you guys have purchased some item for e-commerce. You might receive like a huge package, but inside it's just a skincare product, for example, or just a electronic accessory. So imagine multiply that by millions of parcels per day, and you see that the environmental costs actually add up very, very quickly. So over time, I begin to ask myself, can we actually scale up without destroying? Can we actually grow without wasting? And those questions led me down of using, how can we actually use more analytics and technology to drive a much more sustainable practices. So in e-commerce, and that's what I'll be sharing more today. Okay. So more into FMP, right? So let me take you back into the day, 30 years ago. So in the early days of FMP, many companies were like them. So they were flying blind. We didn't know what customer actually want. We did not know when they wanted it. During peak season, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, special occasion, we either actually over prepared, or we have too much and we have too much left over, or we under prepared and we disappoint thousands of customers in India. So there were moments that where we didn't know what we had in the inventory. Item would go missing, would be replaced in warehouse, or worse still, expire while sitting forgotten on a shelf. So I think that was back in the days, and it wasn't just embarrassing, it was actually very expensive. So in the gift industry, we deal with a lot with like perishable, like flowers and cakes. So if we don't sell them fast, they die or spoil. So wastage was actually eating a lot into our margins, into our profitability, and also into our conscience, right? So we wasted a lot of products, a lot of inventory back in those days. I think around 2010s, I think that's where things start to shift. That was the big data era. There were more and more, data scientists appearing. So we begin to collect more and more data, customer orders, location patterns, product preference by the consumers. That really helped us to forecast better in what the consumer demand is about, what kind of supply we need to produce, right? But even back then, it wasn't perfect. So the data was still living in silos. One team could be using Excel, the other team could be using Google Sheet, another had some outdated dashboard, and all the numbers are in a mess, right? So we were constantly like 1 to 2 days behind reality. And we rely a lot on manpower, the so-called data scientists to actually clean, to analyze, and to interpret our information. But it's definitely much better than 30 years ago. It helped. It was slow and expensive, but small improvement, and we were unfortunately still reacting rather than anticipating. So I think these few years is the whole booming of AI. We see much more AI, much more automation happening. So really fast forward to today, we are living a new era. AI, predictive analytics have really changed everything. Now you don't really need a master degree, or you don't need a PhD to really interpret data anymore. Tools are also smarter and more intuitive and much faster. So right now, all our business team have using dashboard, using alerts and some AI powered recommendation to make decision daily or even hourly at times, right? So I think something that is a big myth that I also like to kind of mention here is that I'll say a lot of people believe that companies only invest in sustainability because it looks good on the article, on the social media, or even on LinkedIn. I have to say that that's not entirely true, because being sustainable does make business sense, right? Firstly, we can reduce spoilage, we optimize delivery, we trim excess packaging, we are able to recycle or upcycle some of these wastage that we really have before they are thrown into the rubbish bin. So I think here we are not just saving planet, but at the same time we are also saving money. So to me, I think sustainability is also a lot about efficiency. right? So moving on to my next slide. And now let's bring this whole concept to life. How do we actually apply analytics to run a more sustainable business, right? So, no, I think the key thing here, or rather the biggest function that we are looking at, is actually inventory management. So there's this story that I hear, I mean, I haven't joined FMP, until recently. But there's this story that I hear from one of my colleague. So he was mentioning that, they were doing some routine audit in one of their warehouses. And like tucked in the dusty corner, there was a stack of like gift boards, just sitting there, forgotten. They don't even know that they actually have those products in the warehouse, right? And these products were water damaged because it was there for a long while. Some were even being chewed by rats, right? Yes, rats. So we literally had actually stocks that were both expired and contaminated. So imagine all those waste, that's just one part of it. And then there's also like some inventory, eventually they found they are kind of like missing in their reporting. So there were a lot of like wastage happening, a lot of material and money gone down the drain because of all this. So today I think we have been trying to implement like more real-time tracking system that's able to update our stocks across every warehouse in the country, and across the globe. So if a product isn't really moving within our expected timeline, we do have a system that flag it. If an item is trending elsewhere, we will actually be able to move certain inventory from one warehouse to another, from one city to another, or even one country to another, if it makes sense, like before it expires. Then the other part of I would say, tracking system is all about order forecasting, right? With a better AI tool, with platform from Google, from social media, we are able to analyze emerging trend on our own system, right? So for instance, I think let's say we notice some bouquets are trending on TikTok among Gen Z, like a lavender bouquet. We'll be able to adjust our stock strategy rather quickly, right? We are able to place an order, and then the inventory arrives in a few days, and we are able to create that kind of like supply for our demand almost within a span of 1 to 2 weeks. So what this truly means is that we are now able to produce what people really want when they want it, and thus reducing the waste that from all the unsold stock. I think the main beauty of this is really about agility. So in the past, demand planning was always seasonal, but now it has come to be much more real time and more reactive to customer needs and to their culture, right? So I think that's how things has changed. And then I think finally one area that are often overlooked is the whole idea about resource planning. How much packaging is enough, right? Because we do want to keep our product and gift, safe when it gets delivered to our customer house. But we also do not want to overwrap it, overwrap the bubble wrap, or overwrap a lot of paper, etc. So I think data really help us to test and refine what kind of packaging size is required to protect the product while also using less material. So I think that would be something actually quite interesting that we have been trying to experiment using less but just sufficient, right? And lastly, I think it will be on the delivery. So on one day we are running like thousands of deliveries, from our warehouse to the customer place. And one could be living very 100 km away from the city area. One could be like 10 km away. So we do have a system, AI recommended system where we do route optimization, where we are able to combine order in nearby zone, reduce delivery mileage, and ultimately, how do we become more sustainable is to lower our fuel usage, right? To create less pollution for the cities. I think that really helped a lot in cutting emission by easily double digit here, right? So that's a lot about what we are doing. However, I think the reality here that I will still need to remind everyone is that even with our best forecasting technology today, we are still generating waste, unfortunately. But what we are trying to do as well is to repurpose them, right? So waste will still be created, but we do need to find a way to repurpose all this waste. I think firstly is really to identify products that are about to spoil, right? We are dealing with a lot of flowers, cake, perishable, products. So with our system, we are able to track which products, which inventory are about to spoil. And then we can actually do a few things, right? I think one, we are able to divert it to composting, donation, or even to do creative upcycling, like doing flowers drying for display, right? Um, right now, I think we are also trying to look into and explore some emerging AI technology. They are able to use image recognition to visually assess some of our flowers, our products, kit, etc. Where they are able to scan for some signs of decay, color changes. So we do not need human to be looking at them all the time. But of course, I think this technology are still very new, still very expensive. So we haven't really scaled it out at this moment. But we believe that will be the huge future for us to look into all this repurposing of products that are about to spoil. Right. Secondly, is actually about sorting recyclable and also non-recyclable materials. So if you think about it, when we get flowers or we ship out a gift, there's a mix of paper, plastic, ribbons, tape, or even foam, right? Which are very confusing for many of our warehouse staff. So, we do have a barcode system, material database, where we know which products are available for recycling and which products should be disposed or even repurposed. So I think that's something that's quite cool to help to repurpose some of the products that we have. And then lastly, we are using analytics to actually spot patterns in unnecessary waste, right? So, looking into over packaging gift that I mentioned previously. Yeah. And just to, kind of summarize what I mentioned, I think there's three key points that have really helped us, when it comes to analytics, to support the whole sustainability for F&P. So number one is all about minimize waste, right? Through AI forecasting, through demand planning, or even through dynamic pricing. For example, we know that this group of products are going to spoil. We reduce our price significantly to make sure that they will be able to sold out. So if you are lucky, sometimes if you go to our website, you might find certain products or certain items that are on discount. That could be because we know that we have over purchased, and we do not want to result in more wastage here. Right. Second is about recycling and upcycling. So unsold flowers, unsold products could be repurposed into donation or even to composition, right? Packaging is also optimized for reusability and minimalist. So I think this is part of the whole circular economy that we are working on and we are committed to build, as a group in F&P organization. And lastly, is a lot about carbon reduction. So how do our logistic engine use a better route planning algorithm to deliver more parcel in fewer trips? So we can reduce more air pollution, reduce the carbon emission, and of course, from a business point of view, like I like to mention, it reduces our delivery costs and labor costs. So again, it's a win-win situation that we are trying to create all the time, where sustainability equal to cost reduction. And I think what I really love about this whole process is that it's not really a one-time project. Sustainability is actually built into our daily decision making. Every time we launch a campaign, we ask how much waste we might generate, how much additional costs we will get. So I would say that it's not perfect. We are trying to be proactive all the time, and I think that really make all the difference. Yeah. So. And I think on this slide that you are seeing is some of the examples, that the bigger corporates, IKEA and also Patagonia, they actually have very great program that we are also learning from. So for IKEA, they offer a buyback program where customer return old furniture, which IKEA we actually refurbish and then we sell them at a much lower price. So I think that really helped the whole circular economy in the country. Right, and behind that is actually a huge analytics engine. So they need to be able to track returns, they need to be able to track the material, they need to understand, how should they price the products that come back to them, what is the refurbishment cost, right? So all these require a lot of data and analytics to make sure that you are able to do this whole buyback program in a very profitable way, right? If not, if it's not profitable, it's a cost making kind of business model, then I don't think any company or business will be interested to do this, right? So it actually create a win-win situation, for some of the customer that want to save more costs, they can buy, this refurbished furniture. To the environment, there's also a lot of savings, and to the IKEA, as a business, they are also making money out of this, right? The other example here is actually Patagonia. So they run this program called Worn Wear program. So it's a very similar circular program where they promote repair over replacement. So for example, let's say my blazer actually kind of got caught in a rain or whatever, or it's spoiled, I can actually send it. If it's a Patagonia product, I can actually send it to this shop to do repair, right? So instead of buying something new, they actually commit to free repair program, where they can actually fix some of the torn sleeve or actually worn zippers. And to that, they actually bake a lot of their repairing costs into their initial pricing at the beginning. So if you realize, they actually sell their products quite expensively. But we know that when we actually buy their products and their clothes, it can last for a decade, right? Because they will offer free repair, and they are made of good quality, so despite the huge and hefty price tag, people are still willing to actually buy from them. So similarly at FMP, we are really inspired by all these companies to really go beyond just minimizing damage, but we want to build a system that support reusing, repurposing, and lasting value. Right. To the next slide. Yeah. So I think this is my last slide, and I do want to give some key takeaway, from my presentation. So I think number one, data is actually your superpower and our superpower, right? And right now with AI, we don't really need to be a data scientist. We have a lot of tools that are available. There are a lot of companies that build, apps that are very intuitive, where we can use them to actually solve daily problem, reduce waste, and even build smarter system or workflow, to on a daily basis, or in the company that you'll be working in, right? Secondly, I would say that sustainability isn't about being perfect, but it's actually about small and smart adjustment. It's also about asking better question when you come to working. How are we doing it this way? What can we do differently? So it's really a lot about progress and not about perfection, right? And I think with AI technology improving, with analytics and big data improving, all these small smart adjustment will become smarter and will become bigger along the way. And I think you guys are actually the next builders. So whether you are going to start your own business, join a corporation, join a small startup, your generation is really will actually define how we consume, how we deliver, and how we live more responsibility. So I would like you all to be curious, challenge norms, and be able to use data to create impact. And I think that's really the gist of this keynote here. Challenge assumption, and use data not just to grow, but to grow better. Right. So I think that concludes my session. Not sure if there's any Q&A. If not, thank you for your attention.
Thank you, sir, for an insightful address which has truly enriched our understanding on how sustainability with AI is becoming priority for the renowned organizations like FNP.
Now, we are privileged to have with us our distinguished guest, Mr. Vadim Kotelnikov, founder and global coordinator of Economics, for the keynote address. Sir is a seasoned consultant and educator with over 30 years of experience from 1990 to 2004. He has served as a project leader at the United Nations ESCAP Asia Pacific Center for Transfer of Technology and as a short-term consultant to various UN agencies including UNDP, UNIDO, and UNEP. Since 2001, Sir has been a leading educator in life business synergy and is the author of the world's first free business education website, Business eCoach. He has also created Inaugural, an innovation simulation game, and authored over 60 courses and books. He also serves as chairman of Olympics USA Incorporated and is a board member for several organizations globally. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Vadim Kotelnikov, who will be joining us virtually for the keynote address. So please.
Love India. My Indian friends call me half Indian because I lived in India for 14 years while working for United Nations. And I actually owe all this, whatever was mentioned, all this wisdom and innovations I owe to the wisdom I learned from India. And especially that's why I wish to start my presentation with a quote from Bhagavad Gita. The slide is a bit cut, but anyway, as it said there, we are kept from our goal not by obstacles, but by a clear path to a lesser goal. And that's why actually I'd like to focus here on this, on the big goal, on the big picture, and also create some sort of a step to the future. So that's why I would call my presentation as a keynote address as sustainability and beyond. And that beyond is harmonious development. And this big picture for sustainability, yes, we love our Mother Earth, but the good thing that there are millions of ways to tell, go back, please, yeah. There are millions of ways to tell our planet, I love you. And this sustainability analytics help us really to check, to listen to our Mother Earth, to get feedback from it if we love our planet message is good enough and how it could be strengthened. Next slide, please. Can I do it myself, no? Yeah. So that's actually one of my, yeah. This is actually one of my core global innovations, which again, as I said, I developed thanks to the wisdom I learned from India during my stay in India for 14 years. I launched here a Business eCoach. It was the world's first business online university in a ball innovation simulation game, which helps to commercialize ideas. I talk a bit about it a bit later. And in Olympic Games, it's intellectual Olympic Games. It's for innovators who invent and design the future. And now we conduct World Olympic Games every year. We engage 50 countries, but most importantly, as I said, we launched the first World Olympic Games here in India back in 2017, and now we conduct it every year. Next slide, please. But as I said, I also wish to focus on the bigger picture, because one is sustainable development, next stage is circular economy and harmonious economy. Harmonious economy is a bigger picture because as I said, as Lord Krishna said, this is our true real goal. Sustainability is a part of it, but our true big goal is creating harmonious world and harmonious future, which is not, of course, environment is very important, but it's also about positivity, social equity, harmony, innovation, and creative collaboration. And this is a type of mega innovations I prefer to focus on, this holistic picture, and our as India philosophy says, we are really should take care of the whole big picture, the unity of the world. And this is again about this unity. Next slide, please. About sustainability, there are many of initiatives recently. As this specifically, one was launched here in India. I'm a chief co-founder, but the lead co-founder is the old friend of mine, Dr. Rajendra Jagdale, from Director of Science Technology Park of Pune. And we launched this Global Alliance of Innovation Cluster for Sustainability Gains just last January. We had a kickoff meeting, and people, all co-founders there are from India, Belgium, Brazil, China, France, Malaysia, Korea, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Zimbabwe, who were present at this kickoff meeting. And we share our expertise in this field of sustainability. This primarily for Alliance of Innovators. It's a business incubator, science and technology parks, various innovation clusters, and also individual innovators. And all of them have some sort of their competitive advantages in various fields, some in big data on sustainability, and we some on real practices, innovation, and we combine our competitive core competences and synergize them, and to create jointly a better world. Next slide, please. Just for example, this is one of our partner is e-learning on sustainable finance, developed by KfW and DG from Germany. These are financial institutions who have their finance criteria. If you want to apply for funding from them, you have to meet various sustainability criteria. And this is, and so that's why they developed this platform for business, for countries and companies who wish to get funding from them. And why I'm focusing on this specific slide, because it was developed again by a friend of mine from Germany, Georg Janishevsky, who worked with me here also in India for 3 years at the Asian and Pacific Center for Transfer of Technology. Now he's back to Germany, and he very much in environment, and specifically he developed this e-learning platform on sustainable financing. And this alliance is various partners have advances in various fields, and we learn from each other and synergize this type of all advances. Next slide, please. And also, next, yeah. And now, what's important again, is it was said by previous speaker, into artificial intelligence is last year it's really kicked off and play very no, please go back, previous slide. Yeah. And we synergize core competences of humans and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has objectivity, productivity, and relentlessness. And humans have imagination, creativity, and goodwill. So that's how we synergize our core competences, productivity of artificial intelligence with imagination, creativity, and goodwill of humans. And now we can really achieve much more in terms of, especially in various fields, but especially in the field of sustainability. Next slide, please. So this is, for instance, some areas which we are working already jointly with artificial intelligence. These are both on the mega innovation field, sustainable mega innovation. It's not a business, it's already like that have global impact, and business level innovation. And these are topics which are marked number 1, and these are topics which is rank number 1 by Google on a global scale of My Business Coach. So that's why indeed we are leaders, global leaders in this field. And I say, for instance, in the field of sustainable mega innovation, we can with the help of artificial intelligence, we can do much better harmonious mega innovation, global impact innovation, ecosystem development, social innovation, circular economy. And on a business level, we can do harmonious innovation. So it's we can do, it's a holistic approach to business, which we really, of course, we can focus on parts, but most importantly, we should focus on the whole picture. And this is with the help of artificial intelligence, we can really this type of harmonious innovation, positive entrepreneurship, green and simulation games. So that's why there are many areas which we are working already practically. It's not just a theory. We already synergize our efforts with artificial intelligence, and there are many platforms. And now I'll show you what is especially would be relevant, I would think, for the army, military, because indeed it's simulation games. It's like war games. I can show next slide, please. This next slide, yeah. So that actually innovation brain ball simulation game. Initially, I invented it for commercializing my own ideas and inventions and commercialize them faster. So because before launching a startup, it's better, or any type of commercialization program, you just simulate implementation, and while you're simulating it, you really come up with much stronger business designs, much stronger strategies, much stronger competitive advantage, and much bigger value. And all this is done within just a matter of actually 3 hours, but better in 2 days, because 2 days you have to sleep on it, because when you sleep on it, your subconscious, superconscious mind and diving creativity can engage, and next morning you wake up with much greater ideas. But the most importantly, for 14 years, we played in a ball just people to people, and it's actually used in about 50 countries. But for, last year, with quick advances in artificial intelligence, we actually taught artificial intelligence to creativity and to play this simulation game as well. The best result we achieved with Google's Gemini artificial intelligence new platform. It's really a quick learning, and indeed it can help develop and commercialize ideas and develop more sustainable future. Next slide, please. Yes, because this is indeed, it's like it's simulation game. It's like a war game, but we just, for instance, we can say, okay, we want to commercialize this invention, but we need to take care of environmental impact assessment, lifestyle assessment, and design for environment. So this task we actually send to artificial intelligence, which we want to focus on, and it's okay. It helps us to play the simulation game. You just anticipate various challenges, both financial, environmental challenges, human resource challenges, competitor challenges. And you play a simulation game, and ultimately you come out with a much stronger business design, business model, and specifically in this on this slide, which much greater sustainability impact. So that's and this is easy to play. So that's actually I wish to really suggest, because it's very much relevant also for army, and for army commanders learn this simulation game very fast, because it's actually stemmed from Sun Tzu, The Art of War, and indeed it's you just play like a football game, but it also can be a war game. Next slide, please. And also, I'm just also already coming to an end, but what I prefer to focus is on harmonious mega innovation. It's when we create a really take care of the global input that fosters sustainable development globally, and this is all actually very much possible, and especially when you create this type of global and alliances and harness diversity of minds. So that's when we create these global alliances. Indeed, we can create big wonders. And next slide, please. That's what we are working now. It's like a Nobel Prize. We are discussing it right now with several parties, and especially with Saudi Aramco company, to establish like a Nobel Prize for harmony mega innovators who pursue higher sense and global mission. They are higher-sighted creators, holistic thinkers, elevate and expand horizon and harmonies, and create harmonious mega innovations. But specifically, next slide, and this is actually last, we also started discussing on sustainable mega innovation champions. It's also like a similar Nobel Prize, but it's a very early stage of discussion. But it's also we wish to celebrate, because when you really go achieve something, it's very important to celebrate successes and to keep the momentum going and energy high. So that's why it's not just a award for the sake of award. This is an award for the sake of energized movement, for the sake of keeping going towards sustainable development. So that's what we are proposing to create, and we discuss it with several partners. And probably you can also join with this. We can also do it jointly with you to create a sustainable mega innovation champion annual award, which would celebrate proactive and super creative futurists who pursue higher sense and global mission, breakthrough and expand horizons, and pioneer sustainable value innovations. And that's all. Thank you very much. And if there are any questions, thank
you. Thank you, sir, for impactful address, which has truly broadened our perspective for creating and being a part of harmonious economy through AI-powered sustainable innovations.
It is now my privilege to introduce our esteemed guest of honor, Mr. Saurav Mohan Saxena, President and Founder Director, Keynote. An automobile professional and leader since more than 25 years in various domains and leadership roles of corporate strategy and growth, business development, global supply chain, innovations, design and development, operational excellence to customer experience. His leadership has set up world-class facilities and manufacturing plants in various locations in India for automotive products, services, and solutions to the Indian market and overseas. Traveling across the world with global exposure, he has had a stint with top Fortune MNCs and Indian corporates like Tata Motors, General Motors, Hero, and many other renowned organizations. He is an advisor to many organizations on EV and EV ecosystem deployment. He is a member of Hydrogen Association of India, Center for Auto Policy and Research, and Board of Studies of reputed academic institutions like Amity University. He is in IIT Delhi, working at FITT on green initiatives for technology commercialization with young minds and engineers for a social impact. He is also the founder of awarded and acknowledged startup Ahor's Technologies by Walmart. Our display near the reception area highlights a testament of his contributions and achievements of sustainability to his professional contributions. Kindly join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. Saurav Mohan Saxena, President for
So it's actually about afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, that's the way. Yeah. Good. So one unique thing before I start is I see the pink and the blue on the opposite side. Mostly blue is worn by the men and the pink, and I don't know if something is a creative stuff. Okay. So just starting formally, namaste to all of you, and thanks AIT, of course, Vishal and Rana sir for giving this opportunity and inviting me here. It's a privilege to be on the same dais with Major General Mehta, Louis Pre. How are you? And of course, Walding, and of course, good to be here with the academic institutions. And it's always good to be with you people as young students and the future climate warriors, let me say that way. Is that okay? Yeah, so sustainability is all about, as I think everybody talked, and I think thanks to Valdemir that he was referring to Gita, and our old culture talks about sustainability in much, in much subtle way, but it is there everywhere. Means Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is a part of it, and now means in different forums I see, if you see outside in, it's a blue dot in the cosmos. What is that? The blue dot in the cosmos in our planet system. It's our Earth. So imagine the cosmos, and there's a dot over there, which is Earth. And imagine we all over there, and the businesses and everything, and we are doing, we just acquire and all that stuff. So last 200 years has been all about on greed and getting the power on the land and everything. So that's how you were all as societies, as nations and all that were trying to become great, big and whatnot. But now it's too much of that. Fossil fuel was being used, coal was being used, of course, humans were evolving. Now when in the evolution it happened, what we were not taking care of our mother, you all come from different places, you're studying over here, but mother takes care of you, she's always there. Sham ko call hoti hai na, batana padta hai, ki sab theek thak hai, right? So that's how it is. Earth is our mother, and we have to take care of our mother. We just forget. We wanted to be rich, this, that, whatever the consumer words talk about it. It's a capitalistic. And to be very frank, I wanted to start with this quote, which is written in your conference room itself. Ability is what you have, you are capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do, and attitude depends how well you do it. And this is how the sustainability topic can be taken care of. Right? If we decide we can do it, it's the way our life is set, Energy is a big part of it. And as a bit of a horse, we are trying to do it on a daily basis with our team. And of course, students or peer group of yours are with us. Ashish sitting over here, Abhinav outside. So yes, we have to do it collaboratively together. So it's an honor to work with CME. We have created a world record with Indian Army already at Changu, and we have produced hydrogen at that height. Means of course I wear that cap which is coming from Indian Navy. They've tested our stuff so that when we say a ship moves, it never stops. Means the Britishers came through the sea route and they took over. Means that was their power at that point in time. Now our ship should not ever stop because water is the fuel. So they can convert that as a fuel and then use it and run forever. So those kind of stuff. And I think Russian, of course, once they're using it. So that's how it is all about reuse, recycle, circular economy. To be very frank, have you heard of Coldplay, you young guys?
Yes, sir.
So this guy, Brian Adams. So he is the father of pop. If I would just, in that note, play a video which is there. So when he was here in India, he was doing his show. We were trying to reach him to tell that we can be a sustainability partner. So, and of course, we were thought, how can we reach you? That people are crazy anyway to attend the concert. How can we?
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to witness a revolution that will redefine the future of energy. Remembering the summer of '69, we are driving into tomorrow with the Advanced Hydrogen On-Demand System, AHOD, a groundbreaking global innovation for vehicles and industries that changes everything. It makes the next gen so happy that it hurts. No more wasted fossil fuels. No more choking emissions. This is where we say cuts like a knife to inefficiency and pollution. We are not just improving technology, we are creating a world as pure as heaven with the cleanest and most powerful rocket fuel. Hydrogen. Buckle up. The advanced hydrogen on-demand system is here. The future starts now for your bikes, cars, and industries. It is a revolution in the making, powered by rocket fuel. Want to join the revolution? Scan the QR code to become a climate warrior and get your exclusive Climate Warrior t-shirt delivered to you. Because like Gruber from Vancouver says, everything I do it for you.
So this was the film which was played at, imagine the sound system of Brian Adams. And he himself took one of my clients, souvenir to his home because he could hear this and he could not understand what it was all about. At the end, I told him, "This is the first song you have ever heard, the first concert you have ever." He's a 65-plus-year-old guy, and he has a guy who is a duplicate, so that people don't just catch him and things like that. So at the end, he took that souvenir, which we were giving it to our defense people as on the hydrogen day. And he said, I will keep it because we never knew that his person told that the DG power, the power of that, where he was, the whole power backup which was coming was from hydrogen. And so he had never had that kind of stuff, which was very unique. So he said, I'll take this and keep it in my room or in his office. So that's how it happened. And you were trying to touch base with him to tell that, okay, we want to be a partner. And of course, at the helm of affairs, they are typically arrogant to have anything like this. So this we could achieve. So, it's always there that you have to keep on trying on it, and same ways on the sustainability side. Of course, if I talk about some jargons which are generally known, it is we have to have, there are 3 R's: recycle, reuse, and repurpose was the word. So what we say is repurpose, recycle, reuse, of course reduce, and then refurbish. What AHOTS is trying to do is current infrastructure which is available, like all the cars and the vehicles which are running, the IC engine vehicles, so they can also become better or good. That's the first step. If you want to jump onto something, you have to start as a step 1. What we are doing is mixing a fuel which is the most clean and the most available in the universe is hydrogen. We are putting it into the IC engine. What happens is emission gets cut. So right now, as we speak, as I speak, and the team sitting over here, there are boilers running on our system, wherein right now the emission is getting cut. The DG sets are running 1.5 megawatt, otherwise would have produced a lot of greenhouse gases. The pollution is less. In fact, a lot of off-highway vehicles, which is yet to start, and all which we are trying to start, because it's a disruptive stuff, is it will cut carbon right now. You go to Delhi, it's all choked with vehicles. So if you even have 2%, 3% change, it makes the most polluted city into a better city, and then that's how it goes to the next step. So just so instead of climate, there are 17. So talked about the goals, the UN SDG goals. There are 17 goals. Poverty is one of them. So yeah. So in fact, when we talk about the goals which are there. Poverty is one of them. Now, the second is basically climate action. So climate action has to happen. Not, we have to do it right now rather than, so we have to think future, but act now. And this is what we're doing. And as the topic of the day speaks of, we are driving sustainability with analytics, shaping business, policy, and society, and that's also put it on a perspective. So it has to be a global perspective, coming down to a country level, then country level to a family or a business enterprise, and then to us. So it has to come down to us, our daily practices, the life which we live. Reuse means reuse, reduce. One is a consumable, which is like more. 1.5 times set as a data point. So there's too much of data point, and this is the generation where you have to take the lead. That's what I did not use. It is a warrior. You have to act like warriors, not like just a gentleman or a gentlewoman, because the climate crisis is already there. 1.5 degrees there, and the whole thing goes. It is like you're rising a furnace. After that, it melts. So that's how it is. Everybody has to collaborate together. So one is collaborative consumption. Everybody has to collaborate ecosystems have to evolve. That not that we have to see that it is that I would do it. Businesses have to align together as collaborators and not compete rather. Collaborate and complement also each other. If you are doing, why should I do? Let me do something else. Let me do something smarter. And then a bit of that, this artificial intelligence may collect things and all that. So what we are also doing is, one is decarbonization, which is sustainability. Other is the half part is the digitization. So we record everything what is being done at any place. That goes to the cloud, the data is collected, and then you know that everybody, any industry, how much carbon they have cut. So that is will be converted into carbon credits later, but right now that's the advantage later. But right now you're doing something, documentation, measurement, and everything is important. So that's how it is. It's all about doing it on a daily basis. And of course, there was an industrial revolution which you are part of, which you are proud of. We used to say Industry Zero. You heard of that industrial revolution 1.0, 2.0, now it is called 4.0. You heard of that? So yes, it has to go to Industry 10.0. You guys read it from India. How can it be? Ideate upon it. Which is like as I think Valdemar talks about harmony, sustainability. It has to be a coexistence, and then it goes back to our stuff, harmonization, and we have all that. Everybody knows. Means our mother, father, we talk of it as a culture, but in an advanced culture, we are becoming more backward. So I'm just saying this topic because I'm standing inside a college, and you young people have to take that lead. So that mindset has to change. We had that wisdom. We are washing it off. Just bring it up. That's the latest fashion called sustainability. If I go to any CXO of an organization, he picks my thing and he wants to try it. Why? Because sustainability is the word. It is the target of the CEO. Maybe the people will not even realize it, but it will go down to the organization, top bottom. When UN said it, countries have to adopt. Countries said it, regulation has to adopt. Regulation said it has to come into the policies. Policies there, corporate has to adopt. And then on the business world side. Of course, we are free people. Of course, we have to take our social responsibility for sustainability. So maybe, as I said, it's like social responsibility for sustainability. It's our, as Sir said, or it is the fact that we have to hand over that, let that blue dot be there in the cosmos. Otherwise, if you don't know, if the simulation goes right in next some time, it will be a gray dot because there's no water or something like that. Temperature rises, glaciers melt. Mother Earth is very, it's like Shivji, very sharp, nothing. When it does something bad, it becomes Pandav. So it will get from there. So it is just, and sustainability is all like from tradition also, it's a balance. Nature, we have to learn from nature, it's a balance. Air will take its shape, water will flow, it's all balance. Of course, you can understand it by science, you'll go and become more mature and have the wisdom of understanding it rather than scientific equations. Our slopes are equations. Why don't we decode them? Sir, I would like to have a curriculum. I'm talking to CME in Pune, so that because I have to give it to different locations of army, and as a new enterprise, I cannot do that. Means in the scope and size. I said, why can't I change? I can work with CME, train the trainer concept. So the army people itself can install it and do all that stuff. So it multiplies faster and the effect is faster. Of course, there's one thing which is the power, high calorific value, other is, the deployment and the other part. So as the speakers from Russia told about, celebration of that. One is good innovation, very nice, very good. Other is adopting it and using it into various places. And in fact, with your help, if it could be in the Delhi area, we are speaking an army, why not leader and the discipline people to do that in this area. We are always being said that, the most polluted city and all that. Of course, there are stringent actions, and then there are some actions which can be taken along with whatever government policies and all that stuff. Wherein, as leaders, as the army of the nation, means the discipline percolates into the policy and all that, and we do that. So that's how one is again the ecosystem, and that starts with awareness. What I'm trying to do is awareness. Of course, there's a vehicle which I drove down, and that's how I was a bit sorry for being a bit late. Is that vehicle which I drive on a daily basis is not using 100% fossil fuel or diesel. It was a diesel vehicle, but now it's a hydrogen and a diesel vehicle combined. India's first vehicle, which is there. It has gone to Bangalore, ASC and IEW and whatnot. 25 ministers across the planet have visited and seen it at G20. They have signed on it, not on the flex. It becomes my souvenir. When they click photographs, I believe that, oh my God, this is something unique because these are the US, the Germany is where everybody will go and work. That means they are nomads. We are better off, and we are better off. And that's how Utkrishta Bharata has to happen between your heart and mind, and then you're confident to do all the analytics. It's all simple, very simple. Analytics is very simple. We are analytical by birth. Of course, the smartness comes to the computer, but we have to do it on our daily lives, and we should know Python, and the stuff, and all that stuff. The coding, which of course you're learning in the college to do that. So, but start from a mindset and from the teaching practices and the curricula and all that. So maybe we have bit of a tweaking of sustainability into the education system, sir. Maybe, so the MBA is, that responsibility goes into the student. When he's passing out, he knows that when he gets into it, that could be edge over here in terms of as a curriculum. I am the board of studies of 80 schools. Imagine that you're working designing the curriculum of AIT, which was and data technologies. A student had to be ready to go, not that there was a 1 year training period and all that. The person has to be just ready to start and start working. So same maybe sustainability could be a part of the MBA curriculum, or could be some topic, something, credits, projects, whatnot. Yes, what I'm trying to say is, and at the front forces, I was the speaker at, the wearing this t-shirt, which was given over there at Bagdogra. And, so there, sustainability at the front forces. Sustainability is right because, the strategic resilience comes because of fossil fuel and all that. Which was there, but, that is also one of the big topics. Now, the military is having sustainability. There are different military forces. The defense forces are working on the. So, and this being the institute which everybody is pride and should have pride that you all come from. And why I like this instituted, that the DNA is already a defense DNA. And that's what I love about it. It's not that, it's there in the culture. Discipline is in the culture. हमेशा डांट पड़ी होगी. So that's how it is, and we have to evolve from what we don't value a bit. I think you are in great place, and all the best to you all, of course. So policy, society, and then again business. So sustainability, analytics, of course, all the new technologies are there. So learn them and better use them. Do some projects. Do work with corporates. What I'm trying to do is more not to talk jargons, but if I can be a bit of a use for any thought which comes into your mind. So do a lot of work with industry, take projects, be more agile to reach with whatever, however you can, take help of college. Vishal is a nice guy. He's been approaching me. Of course, I'm a small company. I can absorb not too much, but yes, whatever they can take projects, sub projects, do that, learn, and that could be with me, with anybody. As so much of Greater Noida is full of companies and all that. So yes, like as Louis was talking about in FNP in Singapore, so he was putting on the value chain. E-commerce is all a full supply chain commerce. Material being produced, stored, packed, transported, and then used, and then the whole cycle, recycle again. So that's how you, with smartness of computer analytics, every element can be analyzed well. And when I say analyze, it can be improved as well. In Six Sigma, I was Six Sigma Master Black Belt. In that, there's a process called DMAP. First, you have to define a problem, measure it. Then A is analyze it. Then I is, I don't know whether you're aware, improve it, and then control it. If you miss any of them, kuch to kar liya. So innovation, imagine if I would have done something, ki pani mila ke pani se kar liya, 1 trial, 2 trial, fair enough, it's good. But you have to do it and have a validation, a robust plan, a product, a process, and everything. And that's how it goes into the business process. I think the forum is more of business students, right, sir? So it's about business processes. They have to be robust enough to understand, and sustainability is like a bottom line cutting across all the things. From the supply chain to all the functions which are there. Maybe procurement to the supply chain, scheduling. Maybe if you schedule more, you have material, it is a waste in the system. Toyota production system is a lean flow. Lean flow is single piece flow. No wastage. जितना चाहिए उतना बनाओ. ये घर पे भी बोला जाता होगा. घर में सामान मत वेस्ट करो, ये मत करो, वो मत करो. यहाँ पे आके पढ़ोगे टोयोटा प्रोडक्शन सिस्टम. वही तो मम्मी ने तुमको बहुत सारे डांट लगाई थी. हर चीज की जगह सही पे रखो. This is what we have heard of, right? होता है नहीं होता है? We'll get into MBA and we'll have those jargon, but it's all very common sense. Common sense is that uncommon degree which people call wisdom. हम उसको मानते नहीं. So that's how, of course. So this is the balance of the new things which you grasp, combine it with the old wisdom, and you are smart and smart and smarter every day. And sustainability is in practice. You have to practice it. You don't have to talk it. That's what it is happening. I tell in conference room, and somebody talks about it's a fashion word in social media, and some topics and learning and speaking and becoming a kind of an award over it. Yes, it's action every day. And that's how Mother Earth needs action now. Otherwise, तो गर्म हो गई है. अभी जब गुस्सा करेगी तो पता नहीं क्या होगा. Simulation can be done through analytics, but then we have to handle it. I think with that I would like to conclude and all that. I was just noting down the points that I covered everything. So yes, think future, act now. Of course, yeah. Awareness, be aware. Read a lot, become aware about stuff. And yes. Life practices, collaborative consumption. So yeah, I was just trying to note down what other speakers were also saying. I would like to play a small film. Of course, again, it talks about what we're doing. What I'm trying to say is everything is in action. So think future, act now. So sustainability, the policy makers will do, but you young guys take up the lead and just do it. And I will again at this forum say two things which come out of two sports organizations. Nike and Adidas. Nike का लोगो क्या है? क्या बोलती है? टैगलाइन क्या है? Adidas क्या बोलता है? Adidas क्या बोलता है? Impossible is nothing. ठीक है, बोलता है? सुना तो है? हाँ? Loud enough. अभी लंच टाइम नहीं हुआ. So impossible is nothing. Just do it. ये मंत्रा पकड़ लो. Impossible is nothing. And just do it. Simple. दोनों को जोड़ लो, सोचो. Life changes. It becomes more sustainable and life. So that also. I would like to end with the other quote which is written over here. If you have the will to win, you have to achieve half of your success. If you don't, you have achieved half of it of your failure. So यहीं पे दो चीजें लिखी हैं. So these quotes are there not to learn, not to execute. And thank you very much for giving the chance. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. We are truly grateful for the profound words which have provided us with deeper clarity and knowledge.
We are now honored to have Professor Dr. Anupam Narula, Professor and Deputy Director of Alumni Relations at MIT University, Noida, with us to deliver the thematic address. Sir is a highly accomplished academician with over 30 years of experience in teaching, research, consulting, and industry. Currently serving as a professor of marketing and deputy director of alumni relations at MIT University, Noida, Dr. Narula has also held prominent positions, including professor of marketing at Ford School of Management, New Delhi. He holds a PhD in economics, a PGDBM in marketing, silver medalist, and an MA in economics. He has trained at prestigious institutions such as Nanyang Business School in Singapore and Ivy Business School in Canada. He has presented over 25 research papers globally and published extensively in reputed journals. Additionally, he has authored 4 books and holds several copyrights from the Government of India. Dr. Narula's contribution to academia and industry are truly commendable, and we are fortunate to have him with us today. Kindly join me in extending a warm welcome to Professor Dr. Anupam Narula to deliver the thematic address. Sir, please.
Good afternoon to all of you. First of all, I am highly thankful to Director Major General Dr. Rajendra Banerjee, Dr. Mohanty, for inviting me today to share a few of my thoughts. And I am privileged to share the dais with Major General Sumit Mehta ji, COS Delhi, Louis Lowe, Vadim Kotelniko, Saurabh Mohanji, and Professor Dr. Kamalan today. I hope so that I'll be able to deliver some value to you people to understand that why sustainability has come up now and how the marketing is changing. Marketing post-COVID, when I say, has changed drastically. What you studied marketing pre-COVID, it is absolutely different now. And that is what I brought one book recently, which is selling on Amazon, Next Gen Marketing. And that Next Gen Marketing, I've talked about one chapter on that, which is called Profit to Purpose Marketing. The shift is happening in the market. The corporates are moving towards not only profit now, they are moving towards purpose marketing. When we talk about purpose marketing, it is sustainability. I have got three copyrights from Government of India recently in 4 years. And one of the copyrights which I got from Government of India is ISBC, which we have designed it, and that is the Integrated Sustainable Value Chain. ISBC is Integrated Value Chain Networks, which we have designed, and we have given that model, and government has given the copyright to us. And that copyright talks about the value chain model, which is required by the companies. So, thank you so much. I will start with it. My presentation, which I say I cover, but the time allotted to me is 20 minutes, but I'll try my level best to cover that, which I designed is that unlocking innovation in sustainability. Overview, I try to give sustainability analytics. 3 pillars, which you have to keep in mind: driving sustainability in the new product development process and adapting to evolving consumer preferences. Because consumer is not king, consumer has become super king now with generative AI and which you call it AI and artificial intelligence and metaverse. Why? Because you want everything customized. Not customized, not personalized, it is personalization too. P2.0 we call personalization. Why? Because you want a car which should be designed as per you. If you have a purchasing power capacity, you can do that. Volkswagen is doing that in Europe, and many more companies have started doing that. You can design your own car, you can design your own shoes, you can design whatever you want. That is personalization too. And when we talk about this, we are talking about sustainability, and that sustainability has become a need of an hour. Why? Because we have to protect the climate, we have to protect the environment, we have to protect the soil, we have to protect deforestation, which is happening. So that is how, and it has become mandatory for the companies to spend certain amount of percentage, maybe 3% of the total profits which they are earning approximately on sustainability aspects in the world markets. And that is what so first point is sustainability has advanced from being an optional extra to an essential one. It is not an extra now, it has become an essential, and it goes beyond simply adhering to environmental regulations, reflecting a bold commitment to ethical, develop products that will deliver on key benefits, which are those functionality, flavor, quality, taste, while minimizing environmental impact. So all things which you are doing in marketing, you have to think from the second perspective of that you are environment friendly. And you cannot believe, I've traveled to 20 plus countries in the world, and I've seen that Gen Z and Gen Alpha are highly sensitive to sustainable products. And it has become the need of the companies that if you are not making sustainable products, you will fail in the market, because the market moves as per consumers. So when consumers will not buy products over a period of time which are not sustainable, how you will be able to sustain in the market? So Gen Z and Gen Alpha, which are coming up in the market, are very much, which you call are, when we see, are highly sensitive towards buying which products. You analyze, you say, you are Gen Z, what you buy? If the taglines which has been mentioned, I talk about certain surveys which have been done by Euromonitor, I highlight and share with you that the world markets, how they are moving, that if the claims are not sustainable in the products, people are not able to buy that in the world markets. What is second point is the topic which you have talked about is sustainability analytics, which is also a very important aspect, because when you are bringing analytics into sustainability, you are using data and analytics to measure, track, and optimize environmental, social, and governance (ESG) performances. And this you'll be able to do very easily when you are trying to use analytics, which was very tedious, hectic. not able to get that precise results, but analytics is helping to get that and helping organizations to make mainly informed decisions. That informed decisions about sustainability initiatives, which companies are taking, how you will measure that which company is doing how much sustainable efforts, that analytics will tell you. And it is not just a buzzword now that we are doing sustainability, but you have to check it how much percentage of profits you are spending. You have to check and measure through analytics which company is doing maximum sustainability efforts in the world markets. Then only you will be able to know through analytics the sustainability efforts put by companies. So sustainability analytics is very important. When analytics comes into sustainability, it gives precision, it gives output, it gives measurement to what we call it sustainability. What is driving innovation in sustainability? The innovation in sustainability is 4 points which are driving, that is government regulation. That's why companies are doing it. Consumer demand and differentiation, because if consumers are buying sustainable products, companies have to make it. There is no other choice for companies. Third is financial and operational efficiencies, which you have to spend and you have to show in the balance sheets how much you are doing welfare for the society to protect the environment, to bring products which are environment friendly, and corporate commitments. These are 4 aspects which is leading for sustainability. Then comes the 3 principles which I would say: develop a technology-enabled sustainability plan. The first thing, you have to develop a technology-enabled sustainability plan. Second, understand the potential of new technologies for each sustainability initiative. You have to map it. You have to map your technology with each initiative of sustainability. ऐसे नहीं होगा कि आपने broader way में think कर लिया और कुछ हो गया. You have to be very precise in that. And third pillar, or which you call it, is develop an investment and implementation plan combined across technology and sustainability. If you have the money, if you have that, you have to do an investment, that how much you will invest on implementing that plan which you are thinking in the company, combined across both things, technology as well as sustainability. So this is what we call it as 3 principles for using analytics to meet sustainability. These are 3 which you call it principles, which you have to keep in mind before developing any plan for sustainability analytics. Then one more thing I try to mention, that is Fortune 500 companies. The average age of Fortune 500 companies in 1955 was 75 years. Now the average age, which you call it, of expectancy of Fortune 500 companies is in 2015 was 15 years, and now it is going to less than 10 years. So company which is existing more than 10 years, Fortune 500, you see, that is the life expectancy which has become of these companies. Why? The reason is that if you are not innovating, if you are not going as per market trends of sustainability, which is the latest, which you call it profit to purpose, you will not be able to sustain. Consumers will discard you. The market will erode you, will corrupt you altogether, and will try somebody else. That is what we have seen. Many companies like Kodak, Daewoo, many more, which has come, sustained how long, and has gone away. These are failure. Why they have failed? You should learn from it, that they were not able to adapt to the changes which is happening in the market. And the first and the foremost thing is change. Change is required. Change in the mindset. Change in the mindset of you people, that how you will market. And the marketing has changed. Marketing has changed post-COVID. And that is what is the important aspect we should learn from Fortune 500 companies. New product development process. If you see, the sustainability in the NPD process is crucial for staying competitive in the market. And Euromonitor's survey, which has been done in more than 150 countries, says, which I'm quoting here, is 47% of global companies ensure sustainability features and initiatives are incorporated in the new product development process. 47%. Approximately 50% of the global companies have realized, 50% of the global companies in the world markets. Euromonitor survey says that. 58% of the global companies plan to develop sustainable products in the next 5 years. That is what the survey suggests. And 27,234. Excuse me. Change the slide. So 27,234 new FMCG products launched since 2023 carrying at least one sustainability claim in that for promoting it. So this is the survey of Bureau Monitor which says if you are coming or doing some startup or if you're coming into new development process, which thing you have to bring into your claim? Think. And that should be not claim, it should be first in your product. A product which is ethical, the product which contains it, and then only you can claim it. Because marketing is not absolutely unethical nowadays. Consumer is very smart, consumer is very wise, and consumer, when it's very wise, if you say something wrong in the claims, they can go to the forums, they will discard your product, and absolutely they will not listen to it. Reason is that why they will not listen? Because they are listening more towards ethical brands. Next, please, if you see, I have one more diagram which I want to show is that consumer awareness and action 2020 to 2024, that how the consumers are responding towards preferences towards ethical brands. I am worried about climate change, and that is 65 to 70% consumers are concerned about climate change. I try to have a positive impact on the climate, that's what consumers say, and that is what the percentage is. Again, if you go and see, next. Yes, this is the slide. If you see that what they are saying, it is more than 68%. And but the percentage is almost stagnant from 2020 to 2023. So that means it is a more of a line is going stagnant. But next 3 to 5 years, you will see this will jump. The customer preferences will more jump towards 2025 to 2028 regarding sustainability. And high price relative to non-sustainable alternatives. Top 5 barriers to sustainability, which are coming in the world markets and emerging markets, specifically to developing markets and emerging markets. And the first barrier is high price related to non-sustainable alternatives. The price of the products are very high. That is what that's why the people are not able. Unclear labeling. Labeling is not much very clear. I'm not sure what sustainable features to look for. People are confused about it. Sustainable features which I should look for more. So that confusion and these are acting as some of the barriers. So this is one aspect. Then few points which I want to mention is cloud power technologies for sustainability. The cloud power technologies, according to McKinsey estimates, I want to highlight that the cloud power technologies can play a very role in abating up to 32 metric gigatons of CO2, equivalent to GTCO2, equivalent nearly half of the total 65 gigatons of CO2 that is estimated is required to reach net zero emissions by 2050. So that means the cloud power technologies will be able to abate how much? 50% of the gigatons of CO2 which is required, 50% of the gigatons of CO2 which is required to bring net zero emissions in the world by 2050, estimated by McKinsey. They have calculated that each use of cloud to power key technologies can reduce the cost of implementing a decarbonization initiative by 2 to 10%. These cloud technologies will help to decarbonize it by how much percentage? 2 to 10%. See the value of cloud, the value of cloud technologies, the value of generative AI, which is how sustainability will get enhanced with the technologies. I'm trying to give the importance of these technologies to you people by which have been estimated by McKinsey. Harnessing the power of generative AI in sustainability after cloud. And if you see the next diagram, if you see, it is 15 to 40% incremental economic cost. If you see new generative AI technologies will bring 15 to 40% incremental economic impact. They will try to, that means the efficiency and other aspects will get more cost reductions, which will happen. Generative AI will try to bring those changes. It is 11-17.7 advanced analytics, traditional machine learning and deep learning will take it to the total use case-driven potentials, which they have done it from 15 to 40% in incremental economic impact. From there, they are moving from an incremental impact of 35 to 70% to see the huge impact that all worker productivity enabled by generative AI, including in use cases. That means by using generative AI, the production of workers will also get enhanced. That is what the power of generative AI being estimated by McKinsey. So these are some of the important aspects which I want to share in the thematic. aspects of my presentation. One more important aspect which you should know, which I brought for that, certifications for sustainability. Why, if sustainability is happening, that companies should move towards certification, like 9,000 you talked about for what? ISO 9000 for what? Long back. 14,000 for what? Certification for environment. Now for sustainability, it is B Corp certification, which is many companies are going for that. For non-profit, B Corp certified, that verifies companies meet high standards for social and environmental performances in the world markets, ethical governance and transparency, going beyond the bottom line to measure companies' overall impact. Number one is B Corp. Next slide, please. B Corp. Next. Yeah, before that, yes. B Corp. Then second comes the Carbon Trust Standard. The second one is that which is the world-leading international certification, which recognizes the best practices and achievements in carbon reduction. Companies which achieve the standard must be able to provide an accurate assessment through analytics of their carbon footprints, supported by robust data to this. Then only you will get certified that you are a sustainable company. And third is Zero Waste International Alliance, ZWIA, and SCS Global Services promote positive alternatives to landfill and waste diversion achievement. How much waste you are recycling? How much waste you are, which is called circular economy. Many experts have talked about that. And that waste you are making some productive products through circular economy. So social and economic benefits to be gained when wasted materials are regarded as resources for you. That is what the challenge is. Okay? That how the waste resources can be utilized as valuable resource. That will lead to circular aspects which can create both employment and business opportunities. And this is, if you are doing that, you can go to Zero Waste International Alliance, the company can go to that. If you are using carbon footprints, go to Carbon Trust. And if you are going for the non-profit, which you call it high standards of performance and ethical governance, go to B Corp. So these are some of the agencies which are very renowned, and certifications give you authenticity, nothing else. If your company is certified, the perception which is created in the mind of customers is what? This is a very trustworthy, reliable, long-term existence may happen of this company, and the products will sell automatically if you are able to create a trust in the mind of customers. So next is innovation in sustainability across the supply chain, which I try to combine my thought process to supply chain is from sourcing, manufacturing, packaging, logistics to retail. That is a total supply chain is. And that supply chain should, at every stage of the supply chain, sustainability has to be carried out. अगर आप नहीं कर रहे हैं किसी भी step पे, supply chain पे, you will not be able to create a sustainable company. So in detail, I have covered that. Next, please. But time will not permit me. I just go with few aspects only with the time limit which has been given to me, but 5 minutes more I take to wind up. So expanding ethical sourcing along with enhanced soil health and diversity. Yes, next. Next. Yes. If you see that, you will see that organic top 5 sustainability attributes in the world markets and market size 2020 to 2023 talks about organic. The word comes organic. The next comes from sustainable sources. This is what the world consumers are saying. I'm not saying anything. I'm just sharing the data which the world consumers in more than 140 countries have been surveyed and talking about it. And this is what the emerging markets are also moving towards it. The industry suggests food and beauty is the main industries which have started a lot into sustainability. Like Unilever, Danone, Nestle are few of the examples which are investing in supporting farmers to embrace regenerative agriculture. You understand regenerative agriculture? To improve soil health, reduce carbon, bolster crop resilience. So this is especially evident in dairy, alternative products, pet care sectors, because the more of a vegan aspect, vegetarian aspect, plant-based aspect, people have started using in beauty care. And the meat is getting discarded. The meat is also getting converted into more of a veg aspect of that. Why? Because of sustainability. And if the companies are changing and moving towards vegan, vegetarian, more plant-based, products or cosmetics which is coming from all these giants, that will absolutely sell. And if you're not able to change, you will perish over a period of time. Spotlight of staple foods. If you talk about a few examples of staple foods which we talked about is betta fish, seaweed, hot smoked salmon is also moving towards which you call it vegan salmon. And this is happened recently. Example which I brought is of June 2024, Germany. The next is Cascadian Farms limited edition climate smart Krenza grains cereal which has come, and that is specifically a US company which has started selling this organic, no GMO cereal is made with Krenza grain which can help improve soil health. You see the selling to the customers and seeing how it is being made. I'm talking about total supply chain. I'm not talking just about retail. I'm talking from the point of manufacturing to the point of retail, how the sustainability has been ingrained in marketing. And if at every stage that is not ingrained, you will not be able to achieve sustainability in marketing. So these are next few examples which I shared about that. And similarly, spotlight on dairy products and alternatives. And if you see US dollars 3.1 billion global market is with plant-based dairy representing. It is going towards plant-based dairy products. US dollars 3.1 billion global market is there and accounting for 28% share of digital shelf in 2023. 30% to reach kar raha. And you see how it will go more towards more 40%. So where the market is moving, you have to think on that. Design products, new NPDs according to that, and find the gap areas. And finding the gap areas and bringing those products into those sustainable aspects will help that. Spotlight on dairy products next. Then, likewise, if you go with sustainability manufacturing, you will see that the manufacturing has to be done through transition from mere carbon neutrality. It is not neutral carbon now to more of a, which you call it, operational emission reductions. And because you have to make it net zero carbon, by which I talked about it, by 20. So it is not neutral carbon now. You have to go with how you can reduce the operational emission reduction. And companies typically adopt zero waste to landfill practices to minimize waste while optimizing resources and utilization. So these are some of the aspects and top 5 sustainability attributes. Market size is talked about carbon neutral and reduced carbon, which has been set by, which is US dollar billion retail value sales. If you talk about is 10 billion US dollar retail value sales is talking about carbon neutral and reduced carbon. And next comes the zero waste. Zero waste is approximately, if you call about 4%, they're talking about this. Then upcycled products is very new aspect, bringing up and coming up very fast. So if you see all this, the companies which I talked about is Estee Lauder's Origins of Utopia skincare collection. If you talk about that skincare collections we are talking about, is with Sephora, French retailer, they are talking about, and that is their launch in Singapore. So these are some of the examples which I want to support with that, which I am trying to say about sustainability manufacturing. Then comes in the value chain sustainability packaging. Packaging has become very important. Previously, when I used to talk about my case studies in classes 20 years back, Procter & Gamble was the first company to launch environment-friendly packaging in perfumes in emerging markets, and they failed 15 years back. Nobody bought it. No consumer bought it. Why? They were more attracted towards the attractive packaging. But now the time has come. 20 years back, the new concept was not the right time to launch. The right time to launch the product is at the right time. And that is the best example is the failure of Pages in India. Because the Pages was launched at the right product, but at the wrong time. And the gap after launching of mobiles was just 1 to 1.5 years time. So launching the right product at the right time. Even the right product launched at the wrong time will fail in the market. Or even if you talk about a wrong product launched at the right time, absolutely it will fail. So the important is how you will map the right product, the right innovation at the right time. So I try to conclude. If I get an opportunity, I'll share more details about it with you people. But today's session, I try to wind by. Last slide, please come to that. Retailing is also moving towards more about that. But if you talk about that last, which I try to conclude, opportunities for growth. Last. Communicate authenticity to meet consumers and regulators' expectations. This is very important. communicate authenticity. Marketing is authenticity nowadays. Marketing is not exaggeration. It has gone in those days. A thin line is there between authenticity and exaggeration. And that line is tossed now. You have to be authentic in marketing. You have to be trustworthy. You have to create trust of customers. Because Gen Z are not loyal customers. Gen Z switch brands very fast. You cannot expect loyalty from Gen Z. That has been surveyed. They are more prone towards value. They are more towards convenience. They are not more towards loyalty. So embrace analytics with consumer-centric approach. You have to embrace analytics to get the accurate aspects of data. Find strong partners to facilitate adoption of circular supply chain, as I talked about, recycling and upcycling of products, and create the waste into valuable resources. So, innovation in sustainability talks about operational efficiency to be unlocked affordability. Affordable also is very important. If you're not able to give that, which you call a sustainable product at a lower price in emerging markets, you will not succeed. It is just remains a buzzword only, and you keep on promoting it. Company will not get revenues of that. So regulation and claims scrutiny intensifies. Third, and climate change disruptions demand more sustainable models from the companies. So thank you so much for inviting me and sharing few of my thoughts. Which I wanted to share with all of you. Grateful to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening session on the intersection of sustainability, market, and analytics, showcasing how data-driven strategies and technology can drive responsible growth.
It's my privilege to introduce our esteemed chief guest, Professor Dr. Parmanand, the Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of Sharda University, Greater Noida. It is a distinguished academician and researcher with a PhD in computer science and engineering from IIT Roorkee and MTech and BTech from IIT Delhi. With over 27 years of experience in both industry and academia, he has received several prestigious awards, including the Best Teacher Award from Union Minister and the Best Faculty Award from Cognizant. He has successfully led multiple government-funded projects and IEEE international conferences and holds key position in IEEE, ACM, CSI, and other renowned organizations and holds key positions. A prolific researcher, he has published over 150 papers in reputed international journals and conferences along with book chapters. We are honored to have him here today and we look forward to hear his valuable insights. Please join me in welcoming eminent guest Professor Dr. Parmanand to address the audience.
Good afternoon to all of you. Thanks for inviting me. The respected delegates on the dais, Major General Sumit Mehta, Chairman AIMT, Major General Rajendra Banaji, Director AIMT, Guest of Honor Saurabh Mehta, Saurabh Mohanji, Guest of Honor Anupam Narulaji, and the keynote speakers Mr. Luis and Mr. Wadi. Registrar, Dean Academics, faculties, and the students. The topic of the conference is really the need of hour and very much suitable for the day. Since we are talking about the sustainability, which was adopted by India Sustainable Goal in 2015, and one of the goal, that was the fourth goal of education, quality education. Where we are talking about the inclusive, quality, and equitable education with lifelong learning. The adoption of the DG4 seeks to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunity for all by 2030. We are in the 2025 now. If you look at some kind of stats, GR of India is 27.8%. I'm talking about GR, that is a gross enrollment ratio in the higher education. For a nation to be developed, who can contribute towards the net technology transfer, knowledge transfer, not to have a knowledge receiving, technology importing. We need to improve upon the GR, and this is what our National Education Policy 2020 has spoken about. If we look at the data till the junior education and move on to the secondary education system, that is 9th and 10th, the dropout of approximately 21 point, and that is the gross enrollment ratio in the secondary education is only 79.4. Then go beyond that. If you are looking at the gross enrollment ratio GER at the senior secondary education, it is 57.6. Again, the dropouts of almost 22%. Then move on to the admission to the higher education system. Again, the dropout is almost 22%. And in fact, 30%, sorry, it's a 30%. So landing at 27.8%. This data is from the 2020-23 survey. If you're looking at the data now, it might have increased by a few points. The national education policy is talking about credit transfer, mobility, Indian education system, Indian knowledge system to be incorporated. Most of the speakers is talking about our Indian knowledge system and to be incorporated in our knowledge system. The government of India is having a lot of hope, and with that hope, the national education policy was launched in 2020 to improve upon the GR to 2000, GR to 50%, sorry, GR to 50% by 2035. The target is too high, but it can be achieved with the four pillars, that is one of the academia, industry, government, policymakers, and the students and the scholars. Apart from this SDG, there are multiple SDGs are also. That is the no poverty, zero hunger, clean water, green energy, and so on. But challenge is not this only. There are a few more challenges are there. If you look at the comparison of different countries and with our country, the percentage of expenditure or spent money, that is a percentage of GDP. If you talk about the in education sector, US is spending around 6.1%. UK is giving 5.7%. China 4.0, where the India is spending only 3.1. Russia is 4.1, a bit better. If on R&D, if you talk about, the US is spending around 3.5%. I'm talking about the data which is 2023-24. UK 1.7 and China is having 3.4%. But in India, 0.7%. Russia 1.1%, quite better. If you talk about the percentage spent on the innovation and the startups, US is having 1.0%, UK 0.8%, China 0.7%, and India is having only 0.3%. Russia 0.5%. And this is what is reflected in the employability of graduates which are passing out from the higher education system. US is having the employability of 85 to 95%, UK 80 to 85%, China again 80 to 85%, but India it is 40 to 50%. Russia again 60 to 65%. So where we are lacking behind? Of course, this is one challenge. Another challenge is our curriculum system, where we are talking about the traditional knowledge system, traditional way of teaching, not talking about the innovation, critical thinking, design thinking, and decision making among the students. Innovation is important. Imagination, ideation, and creation must be important part of education system which is missing. Of course, there are a lot of hope, a lot of inputs and points are there in the national education policy, but it is important to implement that. If you are implementing the right spirit, we can achieve. Rightly said by the Dr. Anupam, if you are not changing, you are not innovating on our product, it will be out of the market. Now think of the Nokia, which was one of the brand phone in 90s, late 90s, until it was 2005 or 6 or even 7 also. It was having a major share of the market. 2009, the smartphones were launched in India, and the market of the Nokia started crashing, and it was soon out of the market. And with that, even the Kodak was also out of the market because they did not innovate in their own products. Can you name few of the more companies which were out of the market that time or even now? BlackBerry, good. More? Any company related to songs and music? HMD, Gana hai beta. HMD. And there are many more. They did not move with the time and demand, and did not change their own way of designing, functioning, and creativity. And that is why they are in the market. There was another disruptive in the market in the last week of January 2025. What was that? Can anyone tell? DeepSeek? Yes. Have you heard of the DeepSeek? Yes. What was disruption that on 27th of January 2025? There was big loss for the ChatGPT and NVIDIA. In one day, they lost $500 billion because DeepSeek was economical, faster, and can be stored on even a smaller machine like your laptops, even a higher version of DeepSeek. So, innovative product, but you need to sustain, if you need to sustain the market, you need to be with the customers. You need to optimize and economical also for the demand. For that matter, in our education system, we need to involve project-based learning, research-based learning, and students should be given flexibility enough, academic flexibility they can choose the courses on their own, and there should be enough space for the entrepreneurs and the startups to be nurtured. There has to be some seed funding for the students who can develop their products with the help of that seed funding, and then you can apply to get a better funding from different agencies. Though there are different agents are there, government agencies are there who are funding very well. Recently, the IIT Roorkee, I have given up to 15 lakhs or 10 lakhs to the multiple students for their own ideas to make the prototypes of the products. Most of us have talked about Gen AI, machine learning, metaverse, AR, VR. But these latest technology, the few more challenges are coming to us. In the digital era, as soon as we are adopting the digital world, the cyber security is becoming a biggest challenge. You might have learned of, and in fact read in the newspaper almost a week, digital arrest. The awareness about the using of these technologies should be available. You should be very much aware of what kind of and how the AI technologies can be used. The phishing, one of the cyber attack, is very much common. The latest technology is must. We cannot avoid. Knowingly and unknowingly, it has already imposed in our day-to-day life. But how do we use it? How it can be used safely? We need to learn, and accordingly we need to use it. The another area, that's your energy. Let's talk about the about the hydrogen enabled vehicle, talking about the energy and saving the carbon prints. I'm giving another example here so that you can understand very clearly and pros and cons. In Rajasthan, I think 60 plus solar plants are installed at different places to develop 4,051 megawatt energy, electrical energy. That's a good part. It's a green energy, and that is a need. But the worst part is to clean and to cool those solar panels 4 crores liters of water is being used. 4 crore liter of water is being used to cool and clean those solar panels. And a person, 4 lakh people can use that water in a day. Then, if you are using the 4 crores of liter water, then you are draining the natural system. You are hurting the nature. Can we reduce it? Can we reduce it? You can reduce it by using the sustainable analytics. Let me just talk about the sustainable analytics here. The analytics is a power and can be used in sustainability to optimize, to have better economics and better utilities. In the past decades, not only right now, data analytics has been used in industries from healthcare to finance, agriculture and other areas also. But its role in sustainability is now more critical than ever. Whether it is reducing carbon footprints, optimizing resources utilizations, or formulating policies for greener future. Data-driven insights are transforming the way we approach sustainability. Take the case of another example of Unilever, one of the world's largest consumer goods company. Through the application of analytics in their sustainable living plan, they have successfully reduced carbon emission by 65% and saved over 1 billion liters of water annually. That's amazing. But how? By using the predictive analysis to track supply chains, inefficiencies in the supply chain management, and optimize malfunctioning processes. The example underscores the potential of analytics in shaping sustainable business strategies. The students must read the ESG, environment, social governance reports issued annually by big companies. There are many companies, and I'm not here to name it. Governments worldwide are increasingly relying on analytics to shape policies that promote sustainability. One notable example is Singapore's Smart Nation Initiative, where the data-driven urban planning has significantly reduced energy consumption and enhanced public transport efficiency. By utilizing IoT, AI, and Singapore has managed to cut down traffic congestion and promote the use of electric vehicles, making it a leading model for sustainable urban planning. Closer to home, the aspirational districts program in India, driven by Niti Aayog, leverages big data and analytics to monitor progress in key sectors such as health, education, and agriculture. This initiative has led to the remarkable improvements in crop yields, hybrid yields, water consumption, and waste management, proving that policy decisions rooted in data can drive sustainable developments. Narayanpur, Chhattisgarh is recognized first for its outstanding overall performance in the aspirational district program. The another one is Raigad, Odisha, achieved the top rank in October 2023. The ADP program and ADP rankings reflected significant advancements across various development indicators. Jamui is one of the city in Bihar, secured the second position in the same ranking system and shows notable improvements in sectors like health and education. Data analytics is not just transforming businesses and policies. The data-driven elections all must have seen in the few years or in fact a decade. That's the power of the data. It's empowering communities. Now considering the case of Project Masakhane in Africa, where machine learning and analytics are being used to translate and preserve indigenous languages, fostering inclusivity, support smallholders, farmers with real-time weather and soil data, enabling them to adopt. Some of the countries are already talking about the carbon footprints and sustainability in finance and as well in education, higher education. The example is Oxford University issued 100 million pounds sustainability bonds to sustain carbon neutral initiatives on campus using digital financial reporting tools. The another university, that is Stanford University, also issued $375 million bonds in the name of green bonds to make energy efficient buildings, solar enabled buildings, minimize the carbon footprints, and so on. Looking at these data and the examples, we should be also in a position to create such kind of system in India. With this, thank you for calling me and inviting me for this.
Thank you, sir, for your impactful address, highlighting the progressive education system's role in making the world a better place to live and enhance the adaptability of sustainability.
Now the house is open for question and answer round. I request the audience to put forward their questions. We are only taking two questions. Hi, please.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ronald Dixit. I am from MBA first year. So my question is for Mr. Baden, sir. This is online. I have a question for you. So my question for all of you that how was in your view, how can business effectively can integrate both sustainability and economic principle to foster more harmonious in the inclusive economic system? Anyone? Sir, in your view, how business can effectively can integrate both sustainability and economic principle in order to harmoniously inclusive economic system?
As I said that if you have to bring sustainability in companies, in emerging markets and developing markets, economic policies and pricing should be done in such a manner that customers are able to, from marketing angle, I'm talking about to create demand. They are able to pay. As I shown you the survey which has been done in the world markets, the important aspect is that sustainability is there, companies are doing it. But in developed countries, a certain segment of people are only able to buy the marketing products, because that is not affordable. Affordability is the first prime aspect in marketing for emerging markets. Convenience, affordability. If there is no affordability, luxury stores used to open in Southeast and many parts of India. Now, if you see McKinsey's analysis of income, please go to the net and check. It is a dome shape. It is a dome shape. Dome shape, you understand. The top level of people in India are how many are rich who will be able to buy luxury products or sustainable products. That dome tip is getting enlarged now. If you go and see, in the next 10 years, that dome-shaped aspect, the top of the dome will get enlarged. And when this is getting enlarged, the capacity of buying is going up. And the deprived people are moving to the next level, which were deprived as per McKinsey. They've gone to the next level. That means now they are not deprived, but they are able to get at least a labor cost, which you call it. They are able to live a normal living. From last 15 years, so in India, I talk about it. So McKinsey's survey says that when your dome shape is getting enlarged, absolutely the luxury products, the buying capacity is increasing, as well as the sustainable products will also be bought over the next 10 years time. And that is what economic policies has to analyze the purchasing power aspects of customers, along with which you're talking about. Next point which you said is
sustainability and economic principles.
This is one aspect. Second, one more thing which harmonious. To create the harmonious aspect. This is what is happening and has started. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will be taking only one more question.
Good afternoon, sir. So this is a question from the students' society, because we are teaching the students analytics in different areas like marketing, HR. So, sir, would you suggest some metrics to measure sustainability in terms of analytics?
Absolutely, I have that AI tools which has come recently, which I suggested to my research scholars. I had that latest tools of AI. So you please share the number. Please share the number which I suggested to my. I have that on my mobile. So few tools have come to measure which recent tools of analytics. So which I've given to my researchers and share with you. Please share. So you just have a number, give me a high. Thank you, sir.
With this, we conclude the question and answer round. On behalf of Army Institute of Management and Technology, we extend our heartfelt appreciation to our esteemed guests for for gracing this occasion with your presence. Your insights and contributions have truly enriched this event, and we are deeply honored to have you with us today. I now request Major General Dr. Rajendra Bana, Director, AIMT, to kindly present the token of gratitude to our eminent dignitaries. Starting with Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Dr. Parmanand. Guest of Honor, Mr. Saurabh Mohan Saxena. Thematic speaker, Professor Dr. Anupam Narula. Chairman AIMD, Major General Sumit Mehta, Vishesh Seva Medal. And a special thanks to Mr. Louis Lowe, who has been an integral part of the conference from Singapore, and Mr. Vadim Kotelnikov, who is joining us virtually from Russia for gracing the conference with their presence. Thank you.
We have now come to the end of this inaugural ceremony. It is my privilege to invite Colonel Dinesh Tyagi, Seda Medal, Registrar AIMG, to please deliver the vote of thanks to the audience. Over to you, sir.
A very good afternoon to everyone. So, how is Gen Z doing? No theme of a conference for Gen Z can be more apt than this subject. You see, because you are the future and you are the major stakeholder, the future lies in your hand and this sustainability lies in your hand. You have been guided over last about 2 hours plus on various aspects, the expectations on sustainability and survival of all of us in future. So you have a major challenge in front of you. A very a deep gratitude to our all distinguished guests on the podium, and I'll start with our esteemed chief guest, Professor Dr. Pamanand, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of Sharda University. Sir, your inspiring words and insights have truly elevated this occasion, and we are deeply honored for your presence, sir. Special thank to our offshore keynote speakers, Mr. Louis from Singapore, a smart country, and you talked about smart business. That is making your nation smart. FNP has been a successful model, and you gave other examples also of IKEA and other case studies worth emulating. Mr. Vadim, sir, thanks for loving this Mother Earth, your affiliation for India, and with this thanks and namaste from India. Are you online, sir? Our guest of honor, Mr. Saurabh, I had a brief interaction with him in the past also. A very dynamic entrepreneur, I can say, and with you you see, he is evolving a business model which is giving him a lot of satisfaction. He's collaborating with, like he brought out with the Indian Navy, with Indian Army, and we are glad that few of our students are also on board with him to take this mission forward. We are grateful to you, sir. Our gratitude to Professor Dr. Anupam Narula, Professor and Deputy Director, Alumni Relations, Amity University. Sir, for your very thoughtful thematic address. You set the tone. You gave us an insight to us how the business model is evolving and what is the future for all of us. At the same time, our speakers highlighted one very good thing for all of you. One was that the future business model is based on ethics, based on values, and based on the main theme, sustainability. And you being, which even our offshore speaker brought out, you come with an Indian Army DNA. Our speaker, Mr. Saurabh, also acknowledged your DNA. So you can take these things really forward. And with that, I would like to thank our chairman, Jan Sumit Mehta sir, Vishesh Seva Medal. He gave the perspective right in the beginning. In fact, I picked up that maybe this entire theme, the sequence could have been better. That if it is first the society, then the policy, and then the business. And then you superimpose analytics on that. So society will give you what is required for your sustenance. The policy, the analytics will be driven from this. Analytics will give you the transparency. And today you see the CEOs world over, they are getting smart. They know that this is the future and you can do good business and smart business only if it is sustainable, which has been spoken quite a lot. Our thanks to our director, Major General Dr. Rajendra Bana, for his support and making this international conference a reality. A special word of appreciation for our organizing committee, firstly for choosing this theme and then putting it in the right perspective. Lastly, to all the participants, the attendees, the media is present, and for all your contributions, and the post-lunch session will continue hereafter. I just wanted to share a lot of examples, and these things were given to you. Of late, we all were following up Sunita Williams. Any linkage with the theme today? Okay, let's join the dots. SpaceX?
Elon Musk.
Yes. Elon Musk? Yes. Tesla? What Tesla does?
Electric vehicles.
Sorry? Okay. And let me, you all are aware also, Tesla is also making net zero houses. Why? Because what Professor Narula was trying to tell you is, that is the future of business. So the Tesla with the best of the technology available, Elon Musk is trying to be the minimalistic guy around, and he is propagating a Tesla net zero house. You know what is the cost of this house? Any guesses? It is just about, I'll not say in dollars, in Indian currency, it is just 6 lakh rupees. 6 to 10 lakh rupees. That's the future of business, and that's how the world is looking at it. Today's, there was a major news headline, Mr. Nitin Gadkari is looking at reducing the prices of EV at par with your petrol vehicles. So now comes to what as student you have to do. So it starts, the charity begins at home, so sustainability also begins with you. So first let's do it as individual. Let's do it in this campus. We are a green campus, let's take it forward here. Then you are budding managers, the future business leaders, that is the requirement tomorrow. So you have to come up to that expectation. we can take the example from a very basic poor villager of India, like we talked of. It has been there in the DNA, in the blood of our Indians as our culture. The forest man of India. Anyone of you know him? Padam Shri Jadhav. He single-handedly, over 40 years, without any technology, without any analytics, sheer willpower and physical work, created a reserve forest on Brahmaputra sandbank around 550 acres, single-handedly, over 40 years. So what analytics and technology is giving you, now such individual effort are not required, everything has become smart, transparent, so you have a lot of work to do, and you have to walk the talk. With that, I thank you all, and let's give a big hand to all of us. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, sir, for impactful address.
Now I request all the faculty members to kindly come over the stage for a group photograph. I request all the student coordinators to please come over the stage for a group photograph.